Lawmakers are grilling 6 top executives of big oil on Capitol Hill today over America's pain at the pump.
That's right. The House Energy and Commerce Subcommittee hearing comes as the U.S. struggles with elevated gas prices nationwide. The cost of gas skyrocketed last month following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The nationwide average is now $4.17 per gallon. And while that price has dropped since its peak in March, it's still far too high for many Americans across the country. So let's bring in CBS News transportation correspondent Errol Barnett for more on this now. Errol, great to see you. So are these oil companies responding to lawmakers' allegations of gouging gas prices at the pump?
Hey there, Meg and Tanya. Great to see both of you. Yes, they're responding by basically saying they don't set the price of gas that you pay when you fill up down the street. These oil executives are saying that basically they are subject to the same global price fluctuations everyone else is, and that they simply, purchase the oil and get it to you to fill your machines and to the oil to heat your homes. But the Democrats on this panel, including the chairwoman, called this special hearing to specifically press these executives on the difference between the spike in oil prices we saw early in March when the incursion of Ukraine began by Russia and the drop that we've seen since then. So early March, oil jumped up to about $120 a barrel. It's now down, hovering around $100. But those of you filling up on the regular will know that the average price of gas also jumped to well above $4 per gallon and is, while it has given back a few cents on the dollar these past 2 weeks, it's still above $4 per gallon, with analysts expecting that it will stay that way through the summer. And so the Democrats on this panel are really pushing these executives to explain why there is that difference and why they haven't done more to expand exploration of oil fields that are already permitted and good to go here in the States. So certainly a number of fireworks during this panel over such a contentious issue.
Such a contentious issue, and we're definitely seeing the split play out there, Errol. Democrats are blaming the Russian invasion of Ukraine for the spike in gas prices. Republicans, on the other hand, say the price hikes happened before the war and are a result of President Biden's energy policies. So what are you hearing from these big oil executives? What are they saying about the surge in gas prices?
Well, we should clarify that in some sense, both are true. During the pandemic, there was a major drop in demand, fewer people driving, of oil. And so because of that, a lot of these oil companies reduced their production. In late last year, early this year, we saw all of that reverse. Everybody getting back onto the roads, really getting out to travel as well, led to an increase in demand while production was still low. And so that led to an increase in prices. Then we had Russia's incursion of Ukraine, which contributed to that mostly because the U.S. sanctioned Russian energy exports. So all of those factors, as far as who is to blame, are true. Everybody really is to blame. And that's why in this hearing, they're pressing these oil executives to commit to expanding production stateside, but also to end stock buybacks from shareholders. That, Democrats are accusing these executives of really hanging on to these high prices so that they could pass the profits on to shareholders and pressing them to really expand production. Few of these executives would commit to ending those stock buybacks, but did commit to expanding production. It's a fight we will likely see continue as we head to midterm elections later this year. But because we're heading into the summer, all of us can effectively guarantee that we'll be paying the higher end on prices for fuel.
Pain at the pump continues. All right. But Errol, while we have you, we just want to pivot really quickly to another story. The NTSB is analyzing those black boxes from that passenger plane crash that killed all 132 people on board in southern China last month. What more can you tell us about this?
Yeah, this is a significant development. The flight voice recorder had already been returned stateside, is being analyzed by the NTSB. The flight data recorder, that's the second of the two so-called black boxes, should be on its way back and being analyzed as well. And this is key. You'll remember our previous reporting pointed to some concern among U.S. officials that after this devastating crash, investigators from the NTSB and Boeing and the manufacturer of the engine weren't able able to quickly get to China because some of the COVID protocols, some of the quarantine requirements. It took them a good long week plus to get through that paperwork and get over there. So it's certainly an encouraging sign for U.S. investigators that they are now getting possession back of this crucial data, which will give you the last hour of voice recordings on the flight deck, as well as specifically what the aircraft was doing. It is still a mystery as to how and why this aircraft almost had a vertical dive, directly south into a mountainside there in southeastern China. And so at least investigators are now here in the States getting possession of some of the crucial data and material. Hopefully, in the best case scenario, we could find out more here in the next few days.
A looming mystery indeed. It's hard to imagine what could cause a vertical dive like that. All right, Errol Barnett, thank you so much.
Thank you.